So, what's a gray market lens or gray market camera equipment? Why do you not want to buy it? Well, I'm going to show you today with this little baby. This is my favorite lens. It's a Nikon 28 to 70 2.8. This is a lens that I've used for years. I love it. It's a great lens. It's sharp. It's my favorite lens, and I can't use it anymore. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. It's a big lens, but this thing is sharp as a tack. And what was happening was, the last time we were down in Florida, I was getting, the focus was hunting all over the place and it wouldn't lock on to whatever I had my autofocus on. So I came back home, and now I'm gonna head over to Nikon, which is 10 minutes from my house. So you're gonna take a ride with me. We're gonna head over to Nikon's headquarters in Melville, New York. And just as a side note, I watch these videos back and I hear my New York accent, and I hope you guys can deal with it. Me and Eric both cringe sometimes, but look, I'm not changing at this point, so it is what it is. So we're gonna bring this over there, and I'm gonna tell them what's happening, and we're gonna see if they fix it. All right, let's get over there. So here we are in beautiful Long Island during the winter. Pretty drab and gray. I feel like the older I get with these winters, they just get colder and longer. I'm longing for spring. All right, we're gonna head a little bit out east and head over to Nikon's corporate headquarters in Melville. Very convenient that they happen to be here. I have a service advisory on my D750, so I dropped the camera off last week and talked to them about my lens, and they said to bring it in and, you know, we'll talk about it. So let's continue. So, well, I have a few minutes. What is a gray market lens? Well, a gray market lens is a lens that was made by Nikon. It's a genuine lens, but it was made for a different market other than the United States. So it could have been, you know, it was made for Japan or Germany or England or somewhere else other than here. So what happens is Nikon USA won't service Nikon lenses that were not made for this market. How do I know this? Well, because when I was dropping off my D750 that was being brought in for a service advisory on the shutter, I asked them about it because I was having trouble with the focus, and she basically said flat out, if it's not, you know, Nikon USA and the serial number doesn't work out, we're not servicing it. So I tried to sweet talk her a little bit, and she said bring it down and let us take a look at it and we'll see. So gray market means when you're shopping on a website, you might see somewhere it says, you know, this piece of equipment might be $100, and then it might say gray market $85. Or if it's something that's expensive, you might save even more. But you have to know that many times the original manufacturer is not going to service it, and they're certainly not going to service it under warranty. So this is something that you have to think about. And usually the camera stores or the camera shops will say that they have somebody that takes care of it, but it's not going to be the manufacturer. So just something to think about. So this lens I actually didn't purchase. I inherited it from my father-in-law, who was into photography also, and you know, I didn't even realize that this wasn't a USA lens until I had it repaired a few years ago. And I actually had to send it to somewhere in the middle of the country, and I sent it, and then I got an estimate back saying this is what it's going to cost to fix, and I really had no other choice because Nikon wouldn't service it. So I ended up paying, I think I paid $600 for the repair on a lens. Now I didn't have to pay for the lens, so I felt like, okay, this is a great lens, and if I invest the money in it, you know, it would be worth it. So here I am again with a problem with the lens, and now do I want to invest more money in it? I have no idea what it's going to cost. So, you know, I'm at the point where maybe it's time to replace it. So this is what happens when you have a a issue with a gray market lens. Now, if this was a USA bought lens, I could just bring it to Nikon. They could service it for me. It's, you know, a few minutes from the house, and I'd be good to go. And I could keep using this lens probably forever because it's a fantastic lens. Even though it's 25 years old, I'm assuming it was built in the 90s maybe. I haven't seen this lens for a long time. But you still see these used for $700, $800 online in good condition. And it's tack sharp and I love it. So, and just on a little side note, you know, I was thinking about this. Both my dad and my father-in-law were really into photography, and you know, it's one of those things. You know, when I look at old gear or I think about photography, I'm like, you know, I wish they both passed away, you know, years ago, and never got to see my photography. So it's, you know, it's just one of those little things you think about sometimes. All right, so we're almost there. And we'll see when we get there. Shiny building. Okay, so wish me luck. I'm going in. Well, just what I thought. Not only can I not get it fixed, but on top of that, they don't make parts for it anymore. It was shipped in 1999, and she told me they discontinued servicing this lens last year in June. Oh, I hate to see this go. Just one little thing while I'm thinking about it. The woman actually asked me if I knew where my father-in-law got the lens from. Now, I don't know. I don't know if he bought it or where it came from. I don't know if it was overseas. I don't know if he bought it here, gray market. I really don't know. So they made it seem like if I could actually locate, like if I would have said to them Germany and this lens was actually made in Germany, I think they might have actually serviced it. So something to think about also. So if you do know the origins of your lens, it may help you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the woman was just being nice, and she was very nice. So I don't know, but just something to think about. So, what would you guys do? The 24-70 length, the Nikon version, the new one with stabilization is $2,300, I think. You can get the old version without stabilization for about $1,700, $1,800. Do I go used, which I'm not opposed to, or do I, another favorite lens of mine is my Tamron 70-200 that I've had for about 4 years, and I love it. I've used it for all my portrait photography. I use it all over the place, and it's been rock solid. So maybe I'll pick up a new Tamron lens. I'm not sure. Well, so this is a lesson in gray market. Okay, so now I'm left with a lens that is cosmetically fine, optically perfect, and I'm just having some autofocus issues and I can't get it fixed from Nikon. So now do I just send it out, spend $500-600 to have it fixed, or do I invest that in a newer lens that's not 20 years old? These are the questions I'm dealing with. I would love to hear opinions. Please put them in the comments because I'm not sure what to do.